It's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez.
Hey guys, we are back. We're back with Master Career Trainer. Anyway, just going off the Master Sales Trainer thing that we just did with Tom Hopkins. Carl Schumacher in the house. Carl Schumacher has been an executive and technical recruiter for Electronic Search, a premier wireless staffing firm since the year 2000. He is also president of the Executive Career Coaching, where he works with individuals and groups as a career coach. Through his many years in the employment and staffing industry, he has successfully recruited and coached thousands of individuals in finding new jobs and expanding their careers. As a recruiter, he has also logged thousands of hours of training by the top recruiting trainers in the industry. From his training and his own personal experience, he has developed a customizable series of steps that empowers individuals looking for a change of jobs or careers. The purpose of these steps is to teach you to be able to literally recruit yourself into a job. Carl Schumacher, welcome back to Money for Lunch.
Hi, Bert. Good to talk to you again.
All right. Well, listen, let me ask you this. I want to dive into this. Is LinkedIn really a good tool for getting a job?
Yes, very much so. But the thing about it is that you can't just post yourself on LinkedIn and think that the world will beat a path to your doorstep. You have to do the right things, but certainly LinkedIn has become a premier place for job searching and also for job posting. You know, it's become huge, quite honestly.
Sure. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. How do I actually go about using LinkedIn for this job search? Walk me through this.
Okay. I'm going to try and be brief because, as always, I could spend an hour on this, but but that's just me anyways. I could spend an hour about just about anything. So there's three parts of it that are critical. First is your profile. The next is how to use it for networking, and then actually how to use LinkedIn as a job search tool. To start with on your profile, it's real critical for you to make your profile, first of all, be consistent with your resume. Why is that? Because if your profile has different data on it than your resume does, people will often go to your profile after they look at your resume, and they go, wait a second, this guy's got different jobs on here. Immediately they're going to think that you're a liar, and I've actually seen that happen before. But another thing is you want to make it not like your resume, because your resume isn't meant to be this living, breathing document that has all kinds of links in it and that can take you different places and that tells you about a lot of personal things, whereas LinkedIn is. You know, LinkedIn, you want to have your recommendations on there, people who say good things about you. You want to put up a PowerPoint if you have a cool PowerPoint that's about you, or you know, white papers if people have written documents, or put your blog links and your Twitter links. When I write a blog, it automatically dumps it right onto my LinkedIn profile. And there are all kinds of apps that you can put into it. So LinkedIn is more, it's a way to brand yourself and to show the world who you are in all your capacity. Even the books that you read, you know, Good to Great is a real popular book, or, you know, some of these selling books that your last person talked about. If you've read those, they should be on your LinkedIn profile so people go, oh, wow, you know, this is what this guy's all about. So also having a good profile picture that's professional. So these are the kinds of things you want to look at LinkedIn as a brand, as something that establishes who you are in all your capacity, but not like Facebook where, you know, you're showing people what food you ate that day. You know, it's a different kind of, it's very business, but it's a lot more liquid, more, you know, you can go different directions with it. So as long as it says who you are.
All right, well, okay, you said something that was, wait a minute, you said something that was kind of intriguing, and you said that any time that you write a post on LinkedIn, it's automatically dumped into your profile. Is that a special program? Is that something automatically? How do we do that?
It's an app. You know, they have lots of apps. And
okay.
Yeah, they have different apps that you can put on, like an app if you want to do slide share, which is really big on LinkedIn, where if you have PowerPoint presentations that maybe you've done that, are show who you do in your job. I have one up there myself from Electronic Search, the recruiting company I work for, and it's a really nice PowerPoint. People can watch it. And so, yeah, there's, you have to do a little study, but, you can figure out how to do this stuff. Just go to YouTube. YouTube will teach you anything. So just ask them, how do I do this?
I love it. All right, let's talk about this. Because you mentioned Facebook. So let me ask you this. How does it, how do other social networks compare for getting a job? I mean, would you ever do stuff on Facebook for getting a job? Because to me, when I think of Facebook, I think of chewing gum for the mind. It's just really a fun place to go hang out. But LinkedIn to me is all business. What's your take? Am I thinking wrong?
I would agree with you. I don't think that doing something on Facebook is wrong if you've got a bazillion contacts on Facebook and they're business people, and you let them know, hey, I'm looking for a job. Any kind of promotion is good, but that's not what it's meant for. And Facebook is more of a social conversation and to people, whereas LinkedIn is a business conversation. I have over 6,000 LinkedIn contacts, which means I have over 21 million people that I connect to, and there's ways to go even further with that, to connect even more to them. So, yeah, I would definitely agree that LinkedIn, if you're looking for a business purpose, LinkedIn's the place for it. Those other ones are certainly, they're great, and they've changed our world, but that's not what I would do for business.
Great. All right, so let me ask you this. Are there specific things that I can do on LinkedIn that can make me stand out from the 100 million people that are on LinkedIn?
Well, I mean, certainly you want to make sure that your profile is completely done, that it has all the information on it, and it has things that establish your brand, that show who you are and the various things that you've done. Your personal stuff, if you've actually done community service and those kind of things, great to put on there. The groups that you belong to, you can only do so much to handle your profile so that you're different from everybody else. You don't want to go crazy with it. That's not really how you get a job. But if you don't have that, when you can get someone to go to your profile, they're not going to be happy with what they see, or it's not going to be good enough. The real keys is how you use LinkedIn to actually network. So,
all right. So let me ask you this. And you mentioned network. Okay. So let's say I'm looking for a job. Should I be targeting people like Carl Schumacher? Should I be expanding my network and meeting recruiters and executive recruiters and career coaches like Carl Schumacher and all the other people that might be able to connect me with somebody? Would that be the appropriate way to network my way through LinkedIn?
That's one way. And, it certainly is an avenue. But even better way is LinkedIn has a lot of groups. And people don't all know this, but you can join up to 50 groups for free. Every one in those groups, you can link directly to them, meaning that you can communicate to them without paying for it or having to go through somebody else. So if you join a telecommunications group, which is where I do a lot of recruiting in, and there's 50,000 or 100,000 people in that group, every one of those people you now have contact to. So a good way to really network is go into groups that are part of what you do. Say you're an accountant, join lots of accounting groups and join the biggest ones. They also have forums. Go on the forums and talk on those forums and chat with people. Get to know them. Build that camaraderie. And then also there are often jobs posted on those groups that are not anywhere else because they're free. You can post free on it. I use them all the time to post jobs, and you'll find jobs in there that you wouldn't. So the networking portion is you want to have lots and lots of people you're connected to, and you want as many of them they can be to be in your world, because then you're going to have such a reach to them. And then if you put out something, and then don't be afraid to communicate. If you write articles, send them out. Say, hey, I wrote an article. Hey, I write a blog. You received a blog from me. I send this stuff out.
That's how we connected.
People know me. Yeah, people know me because I'm out there putting stuff out there, but I'm putting it out to the right people. You're not just networking to anybody. Recruiters certainly are good people, but what's cool about LinkedIn is you can bypass the system and actually go directly to people. You can go right to a hiring manager at a company using LinkedIn if you know how, and bypass all this applicant tracking stuff. So there's a very directness of LinkedIn, and it's acceptable if you do it in the right manner. If you're not just spamming people and you're actually communicating with something to say, people will often listen. And I often put stuff out in there, and I ask them, what do you think? Hey, here's my blog. What do you think? And it's amazing how many people come back. And if they don't like it, that's okay too. But if you ask for a dialogue and you ask for things to come back, LinkedIn becomes very viral, and you can communicate to a lot of people, and you'll get known, especially if you communicate to the right people.
Gotcha. All right, let me ask you this, and we're short on time, but I wanted to dive into this. As a recruiter, would you advise people looking for a job to get the paid membership on LinkedIn?
I would actually, because of the fact that LinkedIn has something called in-mails. Now, a lot of people think that you can go, all right, I'm going to ask Bob to send a message to Jim, who then will send a message to Paul.
Right.
Guess what? It doesn't work real well. Once in a while, yeah, but it doesn't really work real well. But in-mails are direct communications to anyone you want, and they roll over. So say you get 25 of them in a month, and it might cost you $50 or $75. But the following month, you could roll it over and get actually 50 of them paying for that same 25. And quite honestly, if you found 20 jobs that you were really interested in, that's a lot. So I think it's worthwhile to have that kind of direct communication. And I've paid for LinkedIn forever. And actually, the company I work for, we have the super maximum pay on these things. So I'm in a whole other world as a recruiter with what we pay. But the average person can pay $50, $75 a month for 2 or 3 months. Hopefully that's all it's going to take you to get a job. But even if it takes more, and you suddenly have access to direct people opposed to having to go around them. And I think it's worthwhile, and I'm not trying to sell LinkedIn on the money, but if you can't get to the people, it makes it more difficult. But if you can directly get to people, you can really be much more guerrilla marketing in your tactics rather than
sure. Well, one of the things that we talked about last time you were on the show is how difficult it is to get to people. And if you want to stand out and not just be a big pile in the resume pile, you have to get in contact with that person. You have to figure out some way to stand out. This is a great strategy for that. And let me tell you, if you have a membership at Monster, you have a membership at the Ladders or one of these other places where you're paying $50, $60, $100 a month to get what I think is very little information, because if it's listed on the Ladders, it's going to be listed for free on Simply Hired. And so if the company is listed someplace, you could probably find them on LinkedIn, and with your in-mail strategy, you can probably contact somebody in that company directly much better than going through the Ladders and then hitting the apply button and just being part of the thousands of people that aren't going to get a reply because they can't get, there's too many people ahead of you.
I agree. I would agree 100% in your view.
Hey, Carl, listen, we're out of time, but I want to bring you back. In fact, my assistant Amy had probably sent you an email, and I want to talk about this. I found something very interesting the other day. Somebody sent this to us, and I thought this was kind of a neat idea, but I don't know if it would work. I mean, and it worked for this guy. So what he did, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, but what this guy did. I
reviewed the information you sent me.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to. I think it's a very creative thing, and we're going to be. And so I'd like to bring you back and talk about creative ways that work or don't work, about as far as getting a job. Would that work for you?
Yeah, I think. And this gentleman had a resume. We've covered a couple of topics. We covered LinkedIn and we covered interviewing. I think the resume and the general concept of resumes would probably be a good topic to discuss, so we can go down that road and include this into it. How does that sound?
That sounds great, Carl. Listen, we're out of time. Carl Schumacher, everybody, if you need a job, check out Carl Schumacher. You can go to electronicsearch.com or go to executive-careercoaching.com. Carl Schumacher, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing.
Thanks, pleasure.
You bet. Guys, always fun. see you here tomorrow.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch. And check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.